Let's solve this LeetCode challenge called reverse string. We have to write a function that reverses a string. The input is given as an array of characters, and the name of the input is s. So here we have a parameter. It's a vector of characters passed by reference, and it's called s. The name of the function is reverse string, and it's a void function because we don't need to return anything. The reason for that is that we need to modify the input array in place with constant extra memory, meaning that we can't use an extra array or any extra memory to solve this challenge. One method to solve this is to simply swap the letters or the elements from the input vector. So here we have an odd number of characters. We have 5 characters inside of this array. We could switch this H with the O here. Then we could move to this second element and swap it with the second to last element. And then this one stays in its original place. For this here, we have an even number of elements. We have 6 of them. We could swap this H, the first H with the last H, the second A with the second to last A, and this N with this third from last character, which is another N. Now you see here that we are performing swap according to my logic, even though it's not necessary. So in your algorithm, you could check first if the characters are different, just swap them. I don't think it's that important. It's just an extra if statement. So in my logic, I'm going to ignore these conditional statements. This here is my solution. I'm going to use 2 different pointers, and not pointers as in memory pointers, but pointers as in different arrows pointing to different sections inside of my string. So I'm going to use this first one. I'm calling it I. It's going to start from the beginning of my array, and J here is going to start at the end of the array. I'm using this because I want to swap elements from the beginning of my array with the elements at the end of my array. So the first half has to be swapped with the elements in the bottom half, the second half. So here I'm having a temporary variable. I'm calling it temp. It's a char variable, and I'll just use that to store the characters when I'm swapping the elements in my array. So I'm going to check first, so long as we've not reached the middle of the array, and we can still swap elements from the first half with elements from the second half, I'm going to grab the character from my first half and store it in temp. Then I'm going to perform the swapping here, and I'm going to assign the character from the first half previously to the character that was in the second half. So temp gets assigned to the character at index j inside of my vector. And then I move my first pointer forward, and I move my second pointer backwards. So this here is heading towards my middle, the middle of the vector, and this one is doing same. But this one is starting from the beginning to the middle, and this one is from the end to the middle. So that's the whole logic here. Like I explained, I am not checking first if any swap is necessary. I'm just using the same logic throughout my array. But here, I'm not using any extra memory. So this here is a constant algorithm in terms of auxiliary space. So this here matches the requirements here. The algorithm has to be in place, and we have to use constant extra memory. So I hope this is clear to you. Let me just submit this. And we've passed the test cases. So that's it for this coding challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.